You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
You're listening to Mission Log the Orville, an episode-by-episode discussion of the adventures of the crew of the USS Orville.
Welcome to another episode of Mission Log the Orville. This week, we have David Cabeza, or David Cabeza if you're super white like me. David is the artist responsible for the artwork in the Orville comics. And those comics, so you know, we've already mentioned it before, but written by David A. Goodman and published by Dark Horse Comics. I'm Jessica Linverdi.
And my name is Mike Richards. Mission Log the Orville is a conversation that depends on your participation. Share your thoughts, ideas, tell us what we missed at ML_the Orville on Twitter, Mission Log Pod on Facebook. You can email us at missionlog-the-orville@roddenberry.com. And if you're watching this on the Roddenberry YouTube channel, hit like and subscribe. And remember, we may use your comments on an upcoming episode. Jess, what you wearing?
Oh, just this really comfortable, cool shirt with Bortus's face on it.
All kidding aside, that's really what it has on it?
All right, what about your shirt?
All kidding aside, this is a T-shirt. This is artwork from David Cabeza from the Future Unknown episode of The Orville, based on that episode. And we're going to be giving one of these T-shirts away, along with a special guest who will be on later on in this episode. So stick around till the end to find out how you can get one of these T-shirts for yourself.
I mean, I make it look great. I don't know why someone would want it after seeing me wear it. I mean, you, Mike.
Yeah,
I mean you. Sorry.
But you looking great is not surprising. Like, if this shirt can make me look great, that's really saying something.
I think they look amazing.
Thank you. And you know what? What a perfect opportunity to introduce the two people that we have going on. We did mention we're interviewing our artist today, but Mike, give us a little, Johnny Carson. Wait, no, Ed McMahon for our other guests.
Well, I know David Cabeza, or as we would say in English, I think David Head.
Yes.
Is just beautifully drawn, gorgeous artwork from Spain, evidently from the same neighborhood as our other guest from Orville Nation. We have PJ, which is fantastic. We have been meaning to do a crossover. Jessica and I joined Maria and PJ on Tea and Telly at one point, and we had a great time, and I thought felt like we vibed really well and wanted to do something else in the future. This was a great opportunity because in addition to being a great YouTuber, a wonderful champion of the Orville, PJ is also a fluent Spanish speaker, and that gave us an opportunity to sort of be more accommodating. David said that he was a little bit nervous about
Don't tell them that.
Okay, we can cut this out.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Okay. But just to be...
I'm always nervous in interviews.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do too many.
And
that's fair.
And I will say this, that your English is fantastic, I think.
Thank you.
I mean, I think it is really good. So we have PJ joining us today also, and you are actually in Spain, I think, at this point, are you not?
I am. And I got to say that Dave's Spanish has gotten really, really good. David's Spanish has gotten really good.
Well,
I mean, Spanish is English. His English has gotten good.
Fortunately, I'm fluent in Spanish.
That's not what PJ
After
said.
47 years.
So I'm a little bit nervous because the last supplemental episode we did was with Joel McNeely, and I did a little research into his background and got everything wrong.
That's right.
So I thought it might be better if we just said, David, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Seville. I don't know if you know this city, at least by name. It's in the south of Spain. It's so hot in here right now.
No.
And I've been all my life here, and I've been drawing since childhood. and it's what I like to do the most. Maybe 50-50 with playing guitar.
I see the guitars behind you.
Oh, yeah. There's a poster there. And, I don't know what to say more.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Did you grow up in a family that was artistic, or was that a departure from the expectations your family may have had?
Absolutely not. I'm the only one that draws here, and I think that my brother could have been a good artist too, but he didn't follow that path. He wanted to do anything else, and I'm the only one that is drawing right now in the whole family.
Is it
that it's a big family?
In Spain, is it like
way.
good to be an artist, or should you be something else? Like, or was it choosing a path that maybe people didn't approve of?
Well, at the beginning, I think I did not have the approval of my father. But after he started to see that I was doing great, and not working, but that he was seeing my drawings, and he saw that there was something special, or that I was able to do a good job. He accepted it, and when I started university, he was very happy that I was at Fine Arts University, and I had the support of the family all the time.
That's beautiful.
All the rest of the time.
That makes following art and your dream better when your family believes in you.
Yeah, of course.
So I want to ask, what is your favorite thing to draw? Was it comics, or where did you start, and what, like, if you weren't getting money, what would you be drawing?
It's been a process, because when I started in the university, I was thinking of being a sculptor, doing things in clay. But after a couple of years there, I shifted to painting, and I was thinking that it was a good thing to do that, to be a painter, and I started to work painting and doing some commissions and portraits and things like that. After that, I started to work in a little company, designing websites and doing graphic design. And when I was about to become to be 40 years old, I decided to make a leap and start to work in comics.
At 40?
At 40.
That's
it was
impressive.
a hard decision to take.
Did you read
honestly.
comics as a kid, or where did the opportunity come from?
All the time, since childhood, I've been reading comics. And when in the 90s, there was that explosion of manga comic. I was very fanatic of those comics, and I've actually read more manga than American comics.
Wow.
How popular is manga in Spain? Is it
so popular, as popular as everywhere in the world right now? I think manga right now is the most popular form of comics.
In general.
In general, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I just.
I'm right?
You're probably
yeah,
right.
like David said, it really exploded at the end of the 90s here in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, at that time in the United States, it seemed like it was still a little bit sort of specialized, not quite mainstream at that point, but yeah, definitely into the 90s and now. I mean, one of the few bookstores still around, Barnes and Noble. I was browsing the manga station on Saturday, and it was huge. In fact, I was able to pick up a sort of the complete comics of Space Battleship Yamato that I'd never seen before there, and it was what got me into anime back in the late 70s.
Wow. I love that. What is I promise I won't know it, but what is your favorite manga, David?
I like very much, and I think it's my favorite comic is Death Note. I don't know if you know. I
have heard of that. I don't know it, but I've heard of it.
Death Note. I recommend it to everyone because it's really fun.
Great. That's awesome.
Well, today, as we're recording this on July 17th, and David posted on July 16th his love for the film Akira.
Akira. Mm-hmm.
And I watched it last night because I thought you would have a good suggestion. So I watched it, and the movie started.
I suggested because it was the 35th anniversary.
Yeah, so I put the movie on, and it said July 16th, 1988. I was like, today's July 16th. Oh my God. So yeah, that was a good film. That was a good, I really enjoyed that. I popped it in last night, subtitled at about 10 o'clock. House was quiet, and very much enjoyed that. That
movie arrived here in 1992.
Wow.
4 years after the premiere in Japan, and it blew my mind. It's an incredible film, and after that I read the comic book, and I enjoyed it very much. It's one of my favorites too.
I love that.
It is one of my favorites.
I'm a Cowboy Bebop girl. I don't think there's mangas for that, though. Are there? I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
Probably not. It's very much music, and the show is Cowboy Bebop. So one of the questions here that Mike has is, so you had obviously been working in comics. It was a successful leap, which is great.
Yeah.
And
it was a lucky leap, yeah.
Well, that's the whole story everyone tells you, right? Do you have to take a leap of faith, even if you don't see the ledge, and that's when you have the best realizations, right? Is when you make a risk. Did you know the Orville before they approached you?
No, not really.
Okay, better question. Did you know Seth MacFarlane?
Oh, Seth MacFarlane, of course. Okay. I was a fan of Family Guy.
Yes. Family Guy is big everywhere.
Yeah.
So how did that relationship start?
My agent told me that if I was interested in doing a comic of a franchise, it was the Orville. And I said yes, we can try, and there was a tryout. I needed to draw some sample pages, and what David Goodman told us to do as a tryout was the intro of the 6th episode of the first season, Grill. I think it's Grill. It's called Grill, and that intro is so fun. And I did 2 pages. He did a fantastic job compressing that intro in only 2 pages. I did those 2 pages and sent to the editor, and sit and wait. It was a month or so after that they contacted me. I remember it was 15 August and 2018, and I was just opening my eyes because it was early in the morning, and I took my cell phone and saw an email from him, and I somehow knew that it was about that job, and I saw that I was selected, so I was so happy. You can imagine.
Amazing.
And who made that? Was that a decision made by Dark Horse Comics? Did David Goodman have input into that? Who ultimately decided?
I think that David was interested in doing a comic book, or not of the Orville, but of whatever. He has been sending scripts years ago to Marvel or DC, I think. I'm not sure, but I think that in an interview he mentioned that he was sending for some time some scripts because he wanted to do comics, and they never taken one of his scripts. So when he started to work for the Orville, he approached Seth MacFarlane with the idea and asked him the permission to do so. And that's the beginning of the Orville comics.
So David Goodman's real name is David Bueno Hombre, see?
Yeah, and he's really a good man.
He really is. How was
David
it working?
Bueno Hombre.
Bueno Hombre. Before we met him, we thought it was a fake person because that name. You have to be very good or like a villain with that name. Do you know?
Yeah, we definitely thought it was a nom de plume or a pen name.
Mark Twain is like a fake name.
And we actually teased. This is how little we knew about the Orville when we started covering the show. That we actually thought like they might as well just write David A. Goodwriter on the credits because it was probably just a writer's room credit kind of thing. They were like, oh no, he's actually quite accomplished and has been around for a really long time.
So, did you know the sci-fi world or Star Trek at all, or like, did you learn to love it by doing this?
I've been always a fan, and you can see it of the Star Wars.
Ah, yes.
I'm very familiar with sci-fi, so it was a blast when I was selected to do this.
Well, and also, one of your amazing skill sets, and probably the biggest challenge, was capturing the likeness of real people.
Yeah.
So was that part
it's the most difficult part.
Was that the scariest part, or was like every time you send a page, are you like, oh no, this is going to be bad?
No, the scariest part was to draw the ship itself.
Really?
Because it's really difficult to draw. It is all curves. It's nothing straight. So you can use a ruler to do that shape. You need to do curves all the time.
So what was
very challenging?
Was the process just words on a page, and you had to build the picture straight out, or did you just get some sort of a storyboard?
The process is that David Goodman sends me the script, and it's everything, almost everything there, in fact, because he most of the times selects the point of view of the panel, of each panel. So he was doing a labor of like a director here.
Yes.
And sometimes I had the opportunity to select my own POV, but most of the times was on the script, and I only had to follow his instructions. And I was comfortable with that because as it was my very first big gig, I needed to be guided, and he guided me really well.
That's awesome.
David, didn't they ask you to reduce some of the detail in some of the faces of the characters?
Yeah. I was told so after doing the sample pages, because in the sample pages I tend to put a a lot of lines in the faces
For the expression.
And they told me to not to put that much because they look older than they were. So
That's Hollywood. That's Hollywood, baby.
that's Hollywood, yeah. but at
That's
the same
great,
time,
PJ.
I think that they were right because there was too much of those lines.
Well, and sometimes too, and you must know this, leaving room for your imagination to do the work leaves interpretation open. Or if you don't exactly tell the audience how to feel, you can have multiple emotions on their face, the less lines too. So it's finding the balance. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's exactly like that.
So when you got finished drawing, they would go to Michael to be inked or to be to put the color on them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did the two of you go back and forth and have some conversations on that, or was that sort of, how did that work?
He received the pages and he colored them and sent them back, and then there's a round of feedback. Normally I do all the feedback on the colors, but sometimes David Goodman said something here and there, but normally it was something that Michael and I were managing, and that's all.
And had the two
he
of you
did a
worked?
great job.
Yeah.
Had the two of you worked together before?
No, it was my first time. It was my first comic book in the USA, so it was my first time with everyone.
I'm actually amazed how a Spanish agent is your Anish. Your
Yeah,
from Spain?
He's from Barcelona.
How did he get the call? How did he get the opportunity to? That's amazing how widespread that net was.
It's because he's always going to conventions in the USA, and he do a lot of contacts.
So you must have the best agent ever. No comment.
He's a good agent, in fact, and very down to earth, humble, and I selected him because I thought he was a good person.
I think
because I could have approached someone more more, I don't know the word,
ruthless business, higher in standard.
Ruthless is the word, yeah. But he is a very good guy, in fact.
So that's something I think we're learning. I'm so sorry to cut you off, Mike, but I'll stop talking after this. One thing we learned by meeting all the Orville people and people that love the Orville, like PJ, there's a strong heart center for everybody. Good people are in that project, and Seth likes to work with people he likes and continues to bring them on projects. So it makes sense that you followed your heart to work with someone you liked, and they felt that connection from 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 miles away.
Yeah, I cannot agree more in what you're saying about the fandom. The Orville fandom is full of heart.
Yes.
I tend not to talk a lot during these interviews because as long as the conversation's going, so please don't
I just cut you
interrupted.
off. That's all.
What I did want to point out, though, since we do have PJ here, though, is to talk just a little bit about the fandom, and a conversation we had the other night on our Discord had to do with how, the Orville kind of started with pieces of Star Trek, pieces of Star Wars, pieces of other sci-fi, but it has its own heart. It has its own just heart is the best way that I could put it. So just a little bit. We'll go to you, Peter, just to get your kind of take on that.
Well, I definitely think that the fandom is very much we're very much a family right now, right? And I hope it stays that way. I think it will. I think that the it comes from the top down, how things are run and how things, and and like that the fact that Seth always had this person who is Tom Costantino there to be out there for the fans on social media, and on top of everything else he does, right?
Right.
And if I can let me just add something to what David was saying about being selected. There are because I actually participate in exporting talent from the Iberian Peninsula in different areas. Because the economies are different, it's very advantageous for companies to look to outsource to Europe or to different parts of the world. And for example, like right now, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in Disney right now that's not going on in the States because of the writers' strike and the actors' strike, but it's going on in other places like Australia, for example. There's stuff going on for Disney. So things have become very global, right? And there's a lot of talent, particularly because of the bad economy in Spain. There's a lot of talent right now on the Iberian Peninsula.
Yeah, he's right about that. But the fact is that Dark Horse paid me well, considering that I'm not in the US. Because other jobs that other people that have approached me to work have offered me way less for each page. You know?
Oh, wow.
So I'm quite I'm really happy with my relationship with them.
When I meant advantageous, I don't mean that they would necessarily pay David less or anybody else less, but that the fact that they might be available is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, of course.
But but that's partly of the problem too, especially why these people are striking, is they're going to try and find the best for the less, and so it's hard as an artist to want to have food on your table but get paid the amount that you're deserving. And so if I'm understanding, the Orville knew what you were worth doing this project.
Yeah.
So it's just tough. It's a tough, you want to take advantage of the opportunities, but you also want to get paid properly. It's a very tough business to be in, art, actor, whatever.
Yeah.
But
and imagine that it was my first job outside of Spain, so it was risky, and I was about to be father for the second time when I decided to do that leap. So it was very risky, but fortunately or luckily, everything went well.
Yeah.
So while this project was happening, what was your typical day like? Was it just get up in the morning and draw?
Yeah, basically working in pajamas, you know.
Yeah,
working in PJs is what we call them here.
For days, for weeks, for months on end.
Each issue was about 2 months to be complete. A page every 2 days, more or less.
And that's 12 issues and 6 stories. So that's
whenever I would message David, he was always, I'm always busy. I'm busy. He's always busy.
Yeah.
Are you busy
That's
right
now? I'm busy, but not that much.
Okay, great.
Because what I'm doing right now is a coloring book.
You're doing what kind of book?
Franchise. A coloring book.
I want to color it.
Now, how does Michael Attea feel about you just sending out a coloring book without him coloring it for you?
I don't think he knows about it because he's with another publisher. A different publisher. But it's not the Orville. It's not a coloring book from the Orville. It would be fine to have. It would be great to have a coloring book of the Orville.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
I've been told a lot of times to do so, but it's something that has to decide Disney and
Can you tell us? Can you tell us what the subject matter is, what the subject is of the coloring book?
I think I can't because I'm under an NDA.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but it's something SFI related to.
Oh, very cool.
In another way, because it's not about spaceships and blasters. It's something different.
Oh.
But it's quite. In fact, it's more known that the Orville, in fact, is something that comes from the 50s and 60s.
All right, don't say any more.
Don't say any more, but we will look for you to.
You tell us when it's ready.
Yeah.
Okay, I will
Please.
do so.
Yeah,
I
share
bet
that.
David's kids have Orville coloring books already, though.
What?
Maybe.
What?
I bet your children have coloring books of the Orville, maybe at home.
Well, I've printed some spaceships sometimes for them to color, but nothing more.
Have your kids ever, and we love your children, did they ever destroy your work by accident? Do you have like a nightmare story?
Well, nothing of the Orville, nothing.
Well, no,
because
good.
It was all was digital, so it was difficult for them. But I think that at some point they destroyed something, but I don't remember.
Okay, great. You blocked it out.
Better this way.
Oh my gosh. So you can't probably say if there's going to be another 3.5 like season, like more Orville stuff. But would you be happy to do it again if there was another opportunity?
You bet.
Okay, great. What was your favorite stuff to draw? Or like, was it too hard to draw Seth MacFarlane and you loved Scott Grimes? Like, what was the best part? So the ship was the hardest part. What was the best part?
The hardest character was Kelly, because it's very difficult
I
to
believe
draw.
it.
Because she's beautiful, but she has a special kind of face. I don't know, but I wasn't able to draw her in most of the cases,
Well, so yeah, to your point, and to be honest, I could see the consistency of her was the least consistent.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
she also, we talk about this on our show a lot, has the most intense eyes, and her eyes do a lot of the work. So her facial expressions, of course, must be difficult to achieve.
Yeah.
If you're watching the show, and we've said this before, and you're not looking at Adrian's eyes, regardless of what else is going on the screen, Adrian Palicki, Kelly. If you're not looking at her eyes, then you're missing out on so much, because her acting is reacting, and it is so good. But I'm looking right now at a website with your artwork on it, and there's pictures side by side of Kelly normally and Kelly from Digressions, where it was alternate Kelly, and another picture which is just, it looks like it's on the cover of the library edition.
Digressions.
And it is, they're wonderful. They're greatly done. They really capture
But also
her intensity.
But he's drawing from that picture, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, not true.
Well, what happens to me when I see my work after some months is that I see that there are problems everywhere, Just when I finished it, I think, oh, it's all fine. But sometime after that, I think it's horrible. So
I just saw an Instagram video where the first minute, I'm a genius. The second minute, oh, it's okay. The third minute, this is a child has drawn this.
yeah.
But that's what makes your art special, is what your imperfections are.
But I think that it happens to most artists. They tend to hate their old drawings.
I'm afraid,
and that's signal that they are improving.
That's true.
That's a good thing.
That's true.
David, can I ask you a question? How does somebody commission you to do a special piece of art? How does somebody ask you? Because you do commissions, right?
Yeah. Normally they approach me via Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, or even send me an email and ask me for the commission. I must be careful because sometimes they are scammers. But
Really?
yeah, really.
What are they what are they trying to scam you on?
They try to tell you that they are going to pay you via PayPal, and they do some trick that they told you
Refund?
they tell you that they have sent the money, but they have not. There's something strange there, and finally you are sending them the money back, and you lost that money. You lose that money.
Oh my goodness.
So we're all basically asking you if we can send you a photograph and you can draw a panel with the four of us in Orville uniforms on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look,
Yeah.
I could do so. I could do it. I in fact did it once with other people from other podcasts. I don't remember the name now. I drawn them in the bridge of the Orville.
oh, that's cute.
I don't remember the name of those guys.
Well, I think to PJ's point, we'll be sure in the liner notes of the show to put a way to contact you and not scam you if we want to hire you to do art.
That would be great.
Great.
Thank you.
We will put the hurt on them if they try to scam you.
Oh, we definitely will. And I follow you on Instagram and Twitter. Are you? And you have kind of a what is your handle? What does your Twitter name mean? Kashinore?
Kashinore, yeah. It's a character from a manga that I like. I will show you the manga.
Oh, great.
This is the manga, and Kashinore is the guy here, and well, I don't remember the name of the girl.
That's
but
okay. What is
the name is Mars.
What is your favorite part of stories? Do you like the action, the romance, or like sad parts of the stories? Like, why do you like that one?
The part that I enjoy the most, I think the calm ones, the conversation ones, instead of the action that, in fact, I think that is the worst of my art.
Oh, well, yeah. No.
It's the part that you can see the struggle more.
The personal, it makes you care more. And I'm sure the scripts were written this way, but also you had input in how to draw it. The comics are so good because it only says exactly what it needs to say, but you get to see the interaction more, and the story gets to take its time to breathe, which is, I think, we think it's very well done.
It is. I mean, the stories are great. They're written so well by David, and they're just illustrated so beautifully. I mean, just the artwork is gorgeous. It felt like we were in an episode of the Orville, and we got 6 extra episodes out of it, which was
that
golden.
was the intention, to make it feel exactly like an episode. And I think we did it.
Yes, you did.
We succeed.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, welcome back. In this segment, as promised, we're going to talk to you about our t-shirt giveaway that we're working with Elyse Hargreaves from Phoenix Development. We've got her joining us here, and this is just turning into this just giant Orville crossover episode that I just love, because as we all know, we all do better. When do we all do better? When we all do better. So Elyse, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, your fandom, and what we're trying to do here today with the t-shirt giveaway.
Sure. So I'm Elyse. I'm the lead game designer for the Orville 3D game that we're making. We've previously made a 2D game, which is available for free on itch.io. And we're now in the production of a 3D version. So that's what we're doing.
Great. And I know that you have immortalized several folks as being non-playable characters. And I think you reached out to me, so I get to strut around the Orville in my pilot uniform and maybe hang out with Gordon Malloy in the mess hall, talking pilot stuff, and seeing who hugs the donkey better, whatever.
Yeah. So you requested to be an engineer, so you'll be spending time with Gordon.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got the red uniform on, just like Gordon does. And you've been working with you and PJ go back a pretty good ways too.
Yes, well, PJ does amazing work with Orville Nation, and he first approached me and then kind of introduced me to more people in the community, which was really nice. And I have to say, the Orville community and the fandom are just so lovely and the best people. So, of course, I wanted to have them in the game because we're making the game for the fans. So I thought, what better way to, make it for the fans than to actually have them in the game. So it's going to be interesting because, Mike, you'll be playing the game and then you're going to meet yourself in the game.
I'm not going to like that. I'm going to be like when Thomas Riker met himself. That's not going to do.
Yeah.
When I saw the 2D version of the game that you guys had made, I was pretty blown away. I apologize because it actually took us a little while to connect at first because my life is so hectic. But when we saw what Elyse was doing, we just had to support it, and everything Phoenix Development is doing. I love this new. I call it a Minecraft version of the Orville. It's really, really cool, and I think the cohesiveness of Elyse's personality as well is a great contribution to this Orville family that we have online.
Thank you, PJ.
And same with us. I mean, Orville Nation has been so supportive of Mission Log the Orville. Elyse showing up in our live chat, showing up on Mission Log Live when we were talking Orville stuff on it, and just really, really being supportive of it. So, but you got these T-shirts made, and how? Let's tell the folks how they can maybe get one.
Yes. Well, these were designed by David, who you just interviewed, and I think that they turned out amazing. Would you mind standing up so we can see a little bit more of it as well? Because I think they're hilarious. So I think this is like an iconic moment, in...
All kidding aside.
So we just had to make it into a T-shirt. So we're going to do a giveaway. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is to follow Mission Log the Orville on Twitter, follow Phoenix Development as well, and then like and retweet the post that will be coming out. If you're watching this live, it will be coming out on Wednesday today. And that's what you have to do to go in the draw to win.
And will that tweet come from Mission Log the Orville, or will it come from Phoenix Development,
yes,
or will it come from both?
I'm thinking it's going to come from both. So it will come from both of us. You can like and retweet either one you see, and then we'll choose a winner from both of them. And
so that's ML_ the Orville or PHX, Papa Hotel X-Ray Development.
Yeah. And you can find the links maybe down below in the description.
Thanks to Earl.
Thanks to Earl, if he's listening right now, which I'm sure he is. He'll do that.
We'll have links. And we'll probably... How long does the giveaway go? Or just...
So if we do it Wednesday, we can draw the giveaway on Friday. So
great. So we'll be sure to retweet it.
Yeah.
And you probably... I think you already said this. Like, share, retweet, and comment?
Just like and retweet, and make sure you're following both, and then that's it.
Great.
And will they be able to specify color, size?
You can choose color and size. You can choose even like a red one if you want, or a blue one, or white or black, or size.
I don't normally like talking about my outfits, but since we'll be in the Star Trek Las Vegas for the Creation Entertainment Convention in August, I will be putting this on at some point. So I feel like if you also go to that, you can get a picture with Mike and I in this shirt. I mean, which is really the draw. One day we'll just have to get David to come out there and party with us.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll be at Starcade Las Vegas as well, so I'll see you guys there.
I guess we should all wear the shirt.
Oh, we could.
We should. And I've got the men's. It's a Hanes. It's a great quality shirt. Jessica, I think yours is a little bit different fabric, maybe. I actually.
Hanes.
Okay.
It's a great shirt.
And, they're great.
Let's just put it that way.
So,
Awesome.
choice of color, choice of sizes, and it's beautifully made, beautiful artwork.
And also, we're happy to ship internationally as well. So even if you're outside of the States, we'll still get it to you.
That's pretty darn cool. That doesn't happen for everybody. So way to go.
That is really cool.
Yes.
So I just kind of want to, one more time, just kind of final thoughts. First, I want to thank David Cabeza for coming onto the show and chatting with us. So interesting, and it's just such part of a world as a somebody who just enjoys the stories but doesn't really know all the work that goes into creating something like this, just to get more insight, more appreciation for what you do and your passion. And we didn't even get to talk about music at all, but thank you for showing up. And anything you'd like to leave us with?
Just say thank you, and that it's been a pleasure to be here, and I hope we can chat again soon.
I hope so. I hope we get some season 3.5 comics, and
that would be great.
That would be great. And PJ, thank you so much for coming on the show. What's the latest with Orville Nation, and where can people find you, and what would you like to share?
Well, thank you. Thanks for the invite, guys. It's an honor to be here with all of you. And we're kind of in a growing phase. So as we grow, we'll be announcing some new stuff. We have this month we do 4 years of Orville Nation, so we're going to celebrate that in July. And I just want to say, David, and Michael, 3 geniuses working together to put out a magnificent product. And I really hope we get 3.5. From you guys. So thank you, Michael and Jessica.
And thank you. And Elyse, any final thoughts on what you're working on, where people can find you on social media? I know you've probably have all the followers you can handle right now, but if somebody did want to follow you, where could they?
Well, if they want to follow me, they can follow me with my name, Elyse Hargreaves. But Phoenix Development, follow us on Twitter. We post updates and we post who our new NPCs are. Also, I wanted to share, PJ, I wanted to say that I miss you and I can't wait to see Orville Nation come back. Do you have a date when you guys will be coming back?
Well, we've been back streaming. We just need to get back on Twitter.
Sure,
so
yeah.
I gotta talk to Elon about that. So.
I'm sure you can get a direct line to him if you say something egregious about him.
well, we're exploring all the avenues to get that restored. So
awesome.
Well, we'd love to see you back on there too.
Yeah, and we're planning to release the game hopefully by the end of the year. So I just need to finish some of the modeling and the coding, and then we're aiming for the end of the year. So.
And once again, the website where people can find that is?
So if you follow Phoenix Development on Twitter, you will see the updates. But also, if you want to play the 2D game, you can find it on itch.io.
Got it. And we'll put a link to that as well.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Jessica, got anything else? Thank you.
Jeez, I got a little too much, but I think I'm looking forward to Star Trek Las Vegas. That's going to be a blast. It's going to be my 3rd year. If I know that there's a weird crossover of Lord of the Rings fans, so if you haven't gone over to the podcast that I'm in with my friend Ben Goddard called Podcast of the Rings, you guys can check that out. I normally don't cross promote on this show, but since we all are cross promoting, that might be a way to do it. So I would say go check out Podcast of the Rings. There's 2 other shows I produce. One's called Silver and Sensational. It's for all you boomers out there that aren't done being sensational. And then there's No Two Gays About It for the gay man over 50 who feels like your voice isn't out there. So those are 2 different podcasts. If you feel underrepresented, we're representing you, ma'am. So
That sounds awesome. Really looking forward to. Did not realize we are both going to our 3rd Star Trek Las Vegas, AKA, the 57-year mission this time. But David, PJ, Elyse, thank you so much for joining us. I'll just say, I'll close since I don't have any cross-promoting to do. Mission Log the Orville is produced by Roddenberry Entertainment, technical production by the incredible Earl Green. Our website and your opportunity to comment and connect with us is podcasts.roddenberry.com.
bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.